WEAVILE is the evolved form of Sneasel. In its own generation it gets the physical special split, but we're not that lucky in Gen 2. So the middle of our 3 Generation 4 Halloween Pokemon this year is WEAVILE. The evolved form of Sneasel, it has a whole host of issues, and the first of them being the sprite work that I did for this Pokemon. Unfortunately, no matter how much I tried to clean it up, I ended up making it look worse and worse. So I then reverted back to the original sprites that we made around about 18 months ago for WEAVILE. This one has been sitting on the to-do list for a very, very long time. But today it is WEAVILE's time to shine as part of the Halloween specials, and we'll take a look at our stats. We are level 5 with 22 HP. Holding a berry with Scratch, Leer, Taunt and Quick Attack. We've got 18 in attack, 12 in defense, 11 in special attack, 15 in special defense and 19 in speed. We're continuing our Generation 4 Halloween celebrations with WEAVILE. This is the evolution to Sneasel that was introduced in Diamond, Pearl and Platinum, and it suffers from a lot of the same issues that Sneasel suffers from. We are a physical attacking Pokemon with 2 stab types that are in our weakest stat. We've only got 45 in special attack, but regardless of that special attack, I have decided to go for Hidden Power Fire on this run, mostly because I think our relatively paltry special attack will be negated by Jasmine's even worse special defense with her Sneasel. We've already been poisoned, so apologies for the very quick flashing here. We do have a way to cure the poison straight away, and honestly I think this one's going to be a bit tougher than we might first expect. We're going to outspeed everything, but if we're not able to flinch or one-shot, we are going to be in dire straits from time to time. And there is one slight difference on the learn set. At level 38 we still learn Beat Up. Not that we were going to be using the old level 38 move to begin with, but I thought at least keep Sneasel's signature move as part of the learn set. And now we don't learn an ice move naturally until level 28. We are going to be learning probably Ice Punch before then, and we are very glad that this first rival battle does not have any fire type moves. We can move back on now towards Professor Elm's laboratory, where we shall name the rival triple question mark once more, and we can start thinking about how we want to take on this challenge. So let's now speak with Elm, and we'll make our way towards Violet City. And now we've taken care of both of Falconer's gym trainers, let's take on Falconer himself. He is a flying type specialist who leads with Pidgey. It's a 2-shot on the Pidgey to get us started, and it's probably going to be a 3 or 4 shot on the Pidgeotto. Critical hit from Gus there was a little bit mean, but we were in no danger of being knocked out, and we obtain our first badge, the Zephyr badge, in 4 minutes and 19 seconds. With that, we can leave Violet City. We will get the call from Professor Elm, and that means just one thing. Back into the Pokemon Center we go. Let's do a very quick heal. We'll grab the egg. We'll ignore it for yet another challenge, and we can start making our way towards the Union Cave. And now we are out to the other end of the Union Cave. Let's catch ourselves Spearow. Spearow's going to be helping us out just with Fly, and we will call this Spearow Kenya as we always do. And we can move on to get our next HM friends from the Ilex Forest. And it's into the forest we go. We've paused the timer. We will get ourselves both Paris and Psyduck here. Psyduck's going to be helping us out with Surf, Strength, Whirlpool and Waterfall. And then Paris will be helping us out with Cut, Rock Smash and Dig. And with all of them caught for another challenge, we will unpause the timer and we'll make our way in to Bugsy's gym. And now, after taking on all of the gym trainers around Bugsy, we are ready to take on Bugsy himself. He is a Bug-type specialist who leads with Metapod, and we are at the type disadvantage in this gym, unfortunately, because we are weak to Bug. It's going to be one of many gyms where we're at a type disadvantage, but fortunately for us, it seems like Bugsy has thrown. I don't know what Bugsy's AI was doing there, but I'm not going to complain. And that's the Hive badge in 9 minutes and 53 seconds. We cannot celebrate for too long though. We've got the dreaded Rival 2 right around the corner. I have a feeling this one could be a lot trickier than the Bugsy battle, you know. Let's engage him in battle. We'll see exactly how badly this one goes. He leads with Ghastly. We'll use Feint Attack on the Ghastly. We'll knock it out in 1 and grow to level 20. Mud Slap is probably going to be our friend against the Quilava. Oh, he's withdrawn. Goodness me. I was not expecting the switch there. That does mean that the Quilava's accuracy was boosted back up, but we just about get through courtesy of Mud Slap. 10 minutes and 30 odd seconds for Rival 2. Let's start heading through the forest. So we got Cut from the Charcoal Maker. We are going to get Headbutt from the Green Head Man staring at the tree. And you bet yourself we are going to be teaching that straight away to our Weavile. Going to be replacing Swift. We've already got a high accuracy move with Feint Attack, so we do not need the pair of them. And Headbutt is all around one of the best moves we will have on Weavile, probably till the end of the challenge. And now that we are outside the forest, we are going to pause the timer once more, and we are going to get ourselves the Abra. By the way, if you're wondering why I sometimes talk to that sign, repels work very strangely in Generation 2. So they don't actually prevent the wild encounter from happening in one sense. It still gets rolled, it just gets completely ignored. But the way our Forced HM Friend encounters works is that they can rely on being the first encounter in an area. So that encounter can still climb up, and I've put a little reset trigger on the signs for each route, so that if you do accidentally go into the grass like we did there, you won't get the wrong encounter. Let's now go into Goldenrod City. And now we've had a little chat with Floria, we picked up Dig, we'll be teaching that to Paris in just a moment. And we are taking on a couple of optional trainers for this point in the challenge, but do become mandatory later on. Before we take on Whitney, I like taking on these two in the underground. It saves some time and PP later on in the challenge. It also gives you a teeny tiny bit of extra experience that could come in to be quite useful. Nasty Plot. We probably do want Nasty Plot, actually. We'll get rid of Taunt. Taunt is a fantastic move, but we don't really have space for it on the learn set all the way through up until Red, unfortunately. We'll get rid of these Magnemite, and then we will pick up the coin case, and it will be time to teach Dig to our Paris, and we'll get out of here and into the gym. And now, after taking on Last Carry and getting rid of her Schnappabubble, we are ready for Whitney. She is our third gym leader together, a normal type specialist who leads with Clefairy that's already gone down, and the Miltank has missed its rollout. That was pretty much as well as we could have expected the Whitney fight to go. No real issues at all, and the playing badge in 15 minutes and 58 seconds. With that, we can leave Goldenrod. We'll only come back for the rival battle later on in the challenge. We'll have a little chat with the eavesdropping so-and-so here in the flower shop. We'll do our heal in Goldenrod's Pokemon Center, and then we can start thinking about heading towards Ecruteak and Olivine. And now that we are in Ecruteak City, I'm going to try the Kimono Girls. I can't see them being too problematic with how high our physical attack is, and this will give us some extra experience to climb up the lighthouse. We're going to have no issues at all here at Espeon. Be interesting to see what the Umbreon does. I'm going to assume it's going to use Sand Attack, because it doesn't really have anything else for us, and we'll never know. That will be one of life's mysteries forever because we critical hit it. The one major thing we have going for us is that we have high attack and high speed, and we have a flinching move, and that means that we can incapacitate a lot of our opponents, or we can just one-shot them. So I think we've got to play to our Weavile's strengths. And now that we've got Surf, we can leave here, and we'll go into the lighthouse. And now at the very tippy top of the lighthouse, Jasmine tells us about Amphi once more. We will ignore her like we always do. We'll get the rare candy, we'll dig out of here, we'll do a heal, and we'll head back into the Burnt Tower. And now here in the Burnt Tower, it's time for rival number 3. This time he's going to lead with Haunter, and we've got Feint Attack. Let's see if Feint Attack is a one-shot. It is, thank goodness for that. Even our relatively low special attack is absolutely fine there. We'll headbutt the Quilava, it doesn't get a chance to hit us. We will then Mud Slap all over the Magnemite, and we will finish off the Zubat with a headbutt as well. Damageless Rival 3, that means we can fall through the floor, and we'll take on Morty. And now we are holding the Mince Berry. We have some hope because Ghost is not very effective against us. Let's take on Morty. He is our 4th gym leader together, a Ghost and Poison type specialist who led with Ghastly that's gone down. Haunter goes down the same way, and he sends out his second Haunter third, which is kind of rare. That means Gengar is last, Shadow Ball does very little damage at all, and we defeat Morty first try to obtain the Fog Badge in 23 minutes and 16 seconds. With that, we are going to head east towards the Lake of Rage. And now while we're here at the lake, we might as well take on the Gyarados straight away. I'm going to use Headbutt, hopefully it doesn't spam Dragon Rage. We're absolutely fine, we knock it out, we get the red scale, we'll chat with Lance and then we'll carry on towards the hidden powerhouse. So we pick up the rare candy just in front of that bush, and then we will go up further through the hedge maze. We will grab Detect to sell for a little bit of money later, and we will also grab the hidden power TM from the man in the meditation house. And with that, we can teleport all the way back to Olivine. We can start thinking about our next gym leader, and that might be Chuck, and we have a 4 times weakness to Chuck. So let's see how it goes. And so this is Chuck. He is our 5th gym leader. Whether he'll be our 5th badge is a different matter, and he's going to lead with Primeape. We'll headbutt the Primeape. Leah has hit us, but honestly, it wouldn't matter either way. We've got to try and flinch this Poliwrath a couple of times now. Dynamic Punch has landed, and an unnecessary crit means we have been KO'd. I have a feeling though, there is a chance we could get through this. It's not a high chance, but there is a chance. Let's try again. Dynamic Punch misses. Dynamic Punch misses. And we get the victory. Whether it was an earned victory or not, I will leave to your better judgment. But we did get the victory, and that means we have the Storm Badge in a time of 27 minutes and 53 seconds. We've got Fly now, that means there's a little bit of housekeeping I need to get on with, and then we can take on our next gym leader. And now I've taken care of the Rockets in the Mahogany Hideout, let us take on Price. He is our 6th gym leader together today, an Ice-type specialist much like us, and he leads with Seal. So 1 shot on Seal with Headbutt, we'll 2 shots the Dugong with Headbutt as well, and then we're on to the Piloswine. We're just about out of healing range there, so we can 2-shot Piloswine with it flinching, and we obtain the Glacier Badge in 33.50. Now we're going to have to take on Jasmine. We've delayed her long enough, and I think this is where Hidden Power Fire is going to come into its own. It was a choice between Hidden Power Fire and Hidden Power Rock, and I've decided to take the easier Jasmine in return for potentially a tougher Charizard for Red. We'll have to see if that was the right decision. I'm hoping that we can flinch spam Red when we get to that battle, but there's still a long way to go before we can even think about Red. So let's give the secret potion to Jasmine. She will heal, supposedly, Ampharos. We are going to give the Charcoal to our Weavile, and then we will pursue her into her gym, and we'll see how it goes. What's the worst that could happen? We have the type disadvantage to the Steelix. We'll see how it goes. There's only one way to find out what will happen, and that is to engage her in battle. Magnemite's a 1-shot with Hidden Power, that's a very good start. Now what about the Steelix? It's a 2-shot, and we just about survive a single Iron Tail there, so we are all good. We get through Jasmine first try in 35 minutes and 6 seconds. That means we have 7 badges. It's time for a trip through the Ice Path, and then into Goldenrod. And now we are about halfway through the Rocket section, and that means it's time for rival number 4. This time he leads with Golbat. We get the flinch off on the Golbat, and we knock it out in 2, and up next is Quilava. Once again we're playing for the flinch, and it doesn't happen, and he does crit us, which is frustrating, but not the end of the world. We've got Hidden Power for the Magnemite. Even though our special is fairly low, we're able to take care of it in 1 shot. He's got a Sneasel, we will 2-shot it with our own Weavile, and that just leaves Haunter left to go, and we have Shadow Ball for Haunter, so we knock it out, and we are through Rival 4 in just over 40 minutes. I've got even more Rockets to take care of now. I'm not going to make you sit through this horribly tedious section. Let's skip ahead to Blackthorn. And now we find ourselves in front of Claire, and it's at this point we're going to do something very strange with our Weavile. We're going to pivot to becoming a special attacking Weavile. That might not make sense initially, but you've got to remember we have Nasty Plot, and that means we can massively boost our special attack as and when we want to. And we also get to do things like freezing the Kingdra. So it might not seem like the most sensible option at first glance, but I reckon having a special attacking Weavile could do an awful lot of damage to an awful lot of trainers. We've defeated Claire first try in just over 46 minutes. Let's get into the Dragon's Den, where we're probably going to get the level where we will learn Dark Pulse. And we will then almost have a completed learn set. We didn't quite get the experience needed to grow to level 49, but we have obtained the Rising Badge in 47 minutes and 26 seconds. We're going to start making our way now towards the Pokemon League, where we will pick up Dark Pulse en route. And now we find ourselves in Victory Road, where we are going to take on the rival for one final time. He's going to lead with Sneasel. The Sneasel's probably going to Fury Cutter us, so we will do a couple of nasty plots while we can, and then we'll set it on fire with Hidden Power Fire. Typhlosion's up next. Dark Pulse should be a one-shot after a couple of nasty plots. We will Hidden Power the Golbat just because we can, no need for a super effective move. We'll use Hidden Power against the Magneton, and that brings us on to Haunter. Dark Pulse will make light work of the Haunter, and then we will also make light work of the Kadabra too. And that is Rival 5 all defeated in just over 50 minutes. Let's get our 4 full restores now, if we can ever speak to the person at the Pokemart. And we will go into the Pokemon League. And our first league member is going to be Will. For Will, I am going to use one of our 2 bitter berries, because I have a feeling he's going to try and confuse us, and I don't particularly want to be confused. So he's going to lead with Xatu. We'll use a single nasty plot. There goes the Confuse Ray. And there's a quick attack just for good measure. And now we'll start Dark Pulsing our way through the Will battle. He's honestly got a terrible team for facing up against a Sneasel or a Weavile. He's got absolutely nothing that can withstand anything, even probably without the couple of nasty plots. Jinx is his last Pokemon, and we are through Will in a time of 51 minutes and 14 seconds. Let's move on to Koga. He is our next league member. He is a bug and poison type specialist who leads with Ariados. We're going to do roughly the same thing here, as Giga Drain's going to do very little against us. And then we'll Dark Pulse, no need to Hidden Power quite yet. We grow up a level and Venomoth is next. We'll Dark Pulse once more, and that brings us on to the Fortress. We were keeping hold of Hidden Power Fire just for this Fortress. We knock it out in one. We'll Ice Punch the Muck, and it does not survive. And then we will Ice Punch the Crobat, and we have defeated Koga in a time of 51 minutes and 52 seconds. Let's move on to Bruno. So Bruno is our 3rd league member. He is, of course, a fighting type specialist, but his Hitmontop does not have any fighting type moves. That means we can nasty plot our way all the way up to a huge special attack, and then hopefully we'll have enough special attack to sweep the rest of his team. Down goes Hitmontop and down goes Hitmonlee. We grow up a level and Hitmonchan is next. We take guaranteed damage from Muck Punch, but I'm hoping that's the only damage we take for the rest of this battle. Machamp goes down, and so does Onyx. And thank goodness for that, we get through Bruno on our first try, and we can move on to Karen. Hey, it's Editing Squidgy here. Unfortunately, the recording got interrupted in between Bruno and Karen, and I wasn't able to salvage the timer for it. So the splits are going to be lying for the rest of this challenge. I hope it doesn't affect your experience too much. Let's now get back into the challenge. Now, unfortunately, my recording stopped working, so we have had to reset the splits, and I've gone back to in front of Karen where the recording stopped working, and we will take the challenge from there. Fortunately, it was only the Karen and the Lance fights which were missing from the recording, and we did get through first time either time for those, so let's hope that we get the exact same situation going on here. We're through the most dangerous Pokemon so far. Spite is annoying, but it's not going to be anything too devastating, and we can move on to Murkrow. We'll Ice Punch the Murkrow, we'll knock it out in one, and that just leaves Vileplume left to go. Ice Punch connects first time, and we get through Karen in a time of 53 minutes and 54 seconds. Let's now move on to Lance, the liar with the flyers, and he's going to lead with Gyarados. And the plan here is to nasty plot and then sweep. So we will do 1, 2, and 3 nasty plots. Surf will barely tickle us at all, and then we'll get to sweeping with Dark Pulse. This should be some of the easiest battles we will ever see. Honestly, WEAVILE has proven to be quite a tough little cookie. Even though we're playing it as a special attacking Pokemon, there isn't much that seems to be able to come in the way of WEAVILE and success. We've got one last Dragonite left to go, and we get our lance time of 54 minutes and 41 seconds. That means we are all the way into the Hall of Fame now. Let us see what our final Hall of Fame time is going to be for this challenge. And we are clocking in at 54 minutes and 56 seconds. So overall, a very good start for WEAVILE here. I think it's doing a lot better than anybody thought it would do. So let's now take a look at our midpoint leaderboards and see exactly how well WEAVILE is doing. We are in 13th place on our midpoint Unbound leaderboard, and that translates into 33rd place on our overall video midpoint leaderboard. So WEAVILE has done very well for itself in the first part of this challenge, but there is still everything to play for. There's another 8 gym badges plus the red fight left to come, so don't you dare go anywhere. Kanto is next. And we rejoin the action as we always do here in Vermilion City, where we're going to start by getting a rare candy from the chairman of the Pokémon fan club. And with that safely tucked away in our bag for yet another challenge, I am very, very happy to say that WEAVILE is definitely capable of taking on our standard Kantonian routing. So we're going to start here in Vermilion City with Lieutenant Surge. We will then pop over to Celadon City for Erica. We'll go down Cycling Road and pay Janine a little visit in Fuchsia. Then it's back to Saffron City for Sabrina, up to Cerulean City for Misty, across to Pewter City for Brock, down to the Seafoam Islands for Blaine, and then we shall finish off with Blue. And talking of Blue, if you do want to skip ahead and go straight to the Blue fight, it's going to be happening at around about 25 minutes and 27 seconds. For everybody else, let's now sit back, relax, and have our standard spooky Kantonian chat. And in this one, I want to start off by talking a little bit about my new setup, because I have moved into a new office setup. I'm sure I mentioned it a few Kanto chats ago. This was the run that spurred it all on. In between Bruno and Karen, there was a bit of unplanned and unwanted interruptions in the recording, and that just made me think, to heck with it. It is now time to move everything into the office like I'd been meaning to for a very long time. Now that does come with its own little pitfalls. For instance, it's going to take me quite a while to get the audio quite to the level it was in the old setup. I had 3 years to perfect the audio as it was down in the old place, and now I've got to start all from scratch because the ambience of this room is completely different, and that is going to be a nightmare in and of itself. I just hope the audio is at least passable for the time being, while I try and tweak some settings. Now the next run is actually the first run we recorded in this new office setup, so once again expect a little bit of weird audio quality as I'm still trying to get everything sorted out. And now thinking back to what I said about Halloween, like I mentioned in the last one, I really did not get much experience of Halloween as a child. I remember my gran once dressed up as Daisy Dares You from the CITV programme Zap, so I'm really showing my age there. We did things like apple bobbing and fancy dress and face paint and all that kind of stuff, but it was just me and a couple of mates, so we didn't go out trick-or-treating. We definitely didn't go out and see anybody else, but that just means that I get to have all my fun for Halloween in my adult years. Not that that wasn't fun, but it definitely wasn't a traditional Halloween in the sense that a lot of people have it, and I know for a lot of people, Halloween is an incredibly big deal. But that has actually got me very curious. Wherever you're from in the world, is Halloween as big a thing as it has become over here in the United Kingdom? Did you do anything major for Halloween, or were you like me? I was told, no, you can't go trick-or-treating. If you want to do anything like that, in this country anyway, you did Penny for the Guy for Guy Fawkes Night on November the 5th. That was kind of the bigger thing when I was a child. And now that has been relegated to just a bunch of fireworks. And while they are mostly done on November the 5th, it's definitely the time periods both before and after, and then any time from like early November through to the end of the new year, you could get jump scared by fireworks at any particular time. So do watch out, especially for the January recordings. There might be the occasional firework in the background, and any illusion of this channel being current affairs will be completely shattered, because you'll know just how far in advance I might be working. But now let's hand back to Blue. And we have made it to Blue for yet another challenge. He is our final gym leader of the challenge. He is a mixed site specialist who leads with Pidgeot. And because he used Whirlwind, we pause the timer and we rewind. We'll just get rid of the Pidgeot. And we will do our setup elsewhere instead. Hopefully we can tank one Flamethrower very, very nicely. So we will set up a nasty plot against the Arcanine and we will surf it away. And we'll do the same against the Rhydon. It's funny actually, because we've got the type advantage over the rock and the fire types now with Surf. It's kind of strange seeing Blue send out Pokemon that we can just get rid of with Surf. It's one of those things where the Gen 2 AI isn't quite smart enough to understand that you can have coverage in this game, believe it or not. It's not very often it happens, but you can get coverage. 1 hour, 9 minutes and 9 seconds for the Blue fight. That means just one thing, we can get ourselves over to Red for the final trainer of the challenge. And so this is Red. He is the final trainer of the challenge and he leads with Pikachu. We are going to nasty plot against this Pikachu and hope that he goes for Charm at some point. And already we're not off to a good start. Let's try that again, shall we? Hopefully this time he will do his turn 1 Charm. We are purely special, so we don't really mind. And Thunder has missed. That means we are at maximum special attack now for the rest of this battle. And that is enough to get rid of Pikachu and Charizard, so the big threat of the battle has now gone. We will Ice Beam the Snorlax, and Amnesia will not mean anything because we're able to 2-shot it. We're going to be able to 1-shot Venusaur, and then up next is going to be Blastoise. We'll swap to Nasty Pulse, Dark Pulse for Blastoise, not Nasty Pulse. That sounds kind of rude, doesn't it? Anyway, I think we might have the win on this one. Very, very simple end for the Weavile challenge in 1:12:06. Let's take a look at the leaderboard. And on our Unbound leaderboard, we are in 10th place overall, just behind Beware, and just avoiding the 2nd page ahead of Blastoise. And then for our overall leaderboard, we are in 28th place. I think that is a very, very, very respectable time for Weavile. And now as the rest of the leaderboard plays out in the background, we are done for yet another challenge. So I really hope you've enjoyed this one. If you have, make sure to leave a like. If you want to see more challenges just like this, then click the subscribe button. If you want to see more challenges just like this, but a little bit early, you can always join the channel membership and become a HM friend. But until next time, when we're running Darkrai through the Spooky Crystal Challenge, I will say thank you all so much for watching. I will see you all very, very soon.